Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Patreon podcast. This week, I wanted to talk about reusing your waste. And it's kind of a weird subject, but I'm getting somewhere with this, so just give me a minute to get there. So in the United States, there is a candy called the Dum Dum. I'm not really sure if it's anywhere else, but it's basically just a small sucker. You can usually find them like if you're leaving a restaurant or something like that. They usually have them there, like at a dentist office. But they have like standard flavors like root beer and fruit punch and lemon lime and like pina colada and all those other basic ones. But they also have a mystery flavor, which is usually just, one of those flavors just wrapped in a question mark wrapper instead of the normal like colored ones. And I learned recently that those mystery flavors come from a very specific part of the process. So when they are creating those candies, they do one flavor at a time and then they switch batches with another one. And that interim process while they're switching batches actually become the mystery flavor. So you can get like one that's like part root beer and part fruit punch or something, which sometimes they're not very good, but sometimes they're amazing. And the whole point I wanted to make with this is that they found a way to reuse essentially wasted product as something that's interesting. And I really, really like that. I think that it's a super cool approach to reusing something that's essentially not like your standard product. And I was thinking about how to translate this into creative projects and how you could like implement this into your workflow. And like one thing that I was thinking is that all of us have waste in some form or another, whether that's like song loops that didn't go anywhere or sketches that like looked neat when you had them small, but when you like blew them up, that didn't work, or, paintings or any of that other stuff. And I think that one of the best things about doing digital art, and obviously if you're doing physical art, it's a little bit more difficult, but if you're doing digital art, you have plenty of ways to reuse that. A lot of creative techniques that I've heard of in the past is to take some of those like 4-bar loops that you've made with music and sample them and then just completely mess them up and reintegrate them into another song, into another project. So you can take that thing that was essentially waste that you didn't really know what to do with. So you just kind of set it off to the side and you can repurpose it into a new life by twisting it around and mixing it up with other things. And I think like for digital art in general, like you can do that kind of stuff. And I think even for physical art, depending on what you make, it's entirely possible for you to reuse your wasted products into kind of an amalgam art project. And, yeah, I just kind of wanted to put a little focus on that because I think that it's super interesting, and I don't really have much beyond that, honestly, but even still, I think it's a really good idea to keep in mind when you're approaching projects, or if you get stuck on something, like go into your like waste bin and see if you can find something that would fit this project. Or alternatively, sorry, I'm running out of breath. Alternatively, you could like take a couple hours to go through your old projects and like bounce them out to a flat format, whether that's a PNG file or a WAV file or whatever. And then you can go back and like re-edit those and see if you can make something new and different with that kind of chopped up version of the original project. And I think that it could be a really good point of inspiration for a lot of different tracks or songs or art pieces or whatever, is to find ways to like reuse that waste and make it something that it wasn't before and use that as a springboard for inspiration. So anyway, that's all I had. This was a little bit of a quicker one, I think, but it was a simpler idea, but I just wanted to plant that seed and get it out there. So thank you so much for listening. I hope that you have a fantastic Friday and a wonderful weekend. And I will talk to you. Wait, thank you so much for listening and supporting me on Patreon. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. It's been a while since I've recorded one. I've had quite the backlog actually, and it's been a while since I've recorded one of these. Let's try again. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for being a Patreon supporter. I really genuinely do appreciate it. I hope you have a fantastic Friday and a wonderful weekend, and I will talk to you in the next one. Be remarkable.